Hello, 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 and welcome to Love Seen Heard. My name is Dee Dee Star, and I'm glad that I was able to get on today. I haven't been feeling very well, so if my voice gets a little scratchy, I do apologize. But I was really committed to doing this live today because, as many of you who've been on my channel before know, that PTSD is something that I myself suffer with, and June is PTSD Awareness Month. So I thought it was important to have more conversations around this matter because honestly, I'm not seeing much of them. So I am happy for all who can come in, and welcome to all those who are coming into the live stream, and then also welcome those who may be on the replay. But today, we want to talk about some coping mechanism. If you heard my first live on this subject, we kind of did an overview. But today, I really want to have more of a conversation of what works for people who deal with PTSD. You know, there's many different things we can do in order to cope. However, everything doesn't work for everybody. And depending on the trauma that you have will really depend on what will work for you. So, hey Courtney, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Also, I'm gonna drop the link for you, Courtney. If you want to come up, if you can, let me know if you can come up, and I'll drop the link because I really want to have more of a conversation today. Last time it was more informational based, and now I just really want to talk to people about some of the things that they deal with. So, as I'm getting started, I do want to show something that I thought was powerful. This is from Tisa Tales. If you don't know about her, please go subscribe. I love her content. She really gets into all of the things that's going on in the YouTube streets about our celebrities, and she gets some behind the scene information that really a lot of people don't always say, but she tends to get the heads up on things. But she did an interview with the lady who was pow by Diddy in the club. And it was something powerful that she said in that interview. And if you haven't seen the interview, please go back and watch it. When I tell you, it was so good. And for me, it was good because I remember when that happened. I was old enough to know about it. And it kind of got pushed under the rug, so to speak. After so long, it was like it happened, they went to court, and it went away. And honestly, I never knew what happened to the lady who experienced it. So, okay, Courtney, thank you. I'll put it in the link in the chat in just a few minutes. But going back to her, her name is Latanya Rubin. I don't want to mess her name up. And she really talks about this is basically a 30-year issue that she's been dealing with, and by herself, basically with her children, because I mean, he was a powerful person. Let's put it like that. We know all the situations now that's coming out about Diddy, but just imagine back in the 90s when this happened. We didn't have social media. We didn't have people speaking out. We didn't have, everything was rumors. We heard things, we saw things if you watched, if you were really into hip hop, you heard things. If you read the hip hop magazines of the day, you read things. But a lot of people really didn't understand what happened or knew what happened. I knew some of the issues around it, but I didn't know it all. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we're talking about PTSD, and this was PTSD for her. She developed PTSD from this event. So she said this one thing, and I'm going to share this clip about something she said that I thought was really powerful. So let me go ahead and share that. Hold one moment. I hope you all can see it. So let me go ahead and share the clip.
Or person. So I speak, but you don't want to see me talk to you is because they need to get it out. I'm a firm believer, and my mother always said, if you have dis-ease in your spirit,
Mhm.
will create disease in your body.
That's
And I've
true.
always been a truth to power person. So I speak, but you don't.
Okay. So to me, that was powerful. She said if you have dis-ease in your spirit, and it's like that's real because with PTSD, it's an ongoing situation. I was on a live this morning where a woman gave a powerful her story was powerful, but she mentioned that's what she deal with. So there's so many people that look like you and I who are dealing with PTSD and struggling through it every single day. Hey, La La, welcome, welcome. So it's powerful to know for the ones who are sur- not just surviving, but are coping with it. Because I think a lot of times we don't talk about having PTSD for real and really putting a face on it. We kind of generally say, I got PTSD. Some people make a joke of it. And like I was saying on my other live, a lot of times it's only for those who are in the military that we would think about having PTSD. But now in 2024, we're understanding that PTSD affects men, women, children, mothers, grandmothers, fathers, grandfathers, the scope of the human race. Any one of us at any moment can really develop PTSD. So I am excited that this can be a conversation. As said the last live, I did not know that June was PTSD Awareness Month. I was shocked to find that out, but I'm proud that I was able to find that out since I now have a platform to talk about it because it's something that I've always wanted to talk about, but really didn't have the tools to talk or the platform to speak. And just like everything else dealing with mental illness, a lot of times people really don't want to talk about it. It's a secret, a taboo. You deal with it on your own. But let's not do that because to me, voicing you don't have to tell all your secrets per se or tell everything about you, but sometimes just speaking on how you're dealing and what you do can help the next person who have no idea on how to deal with what they've been through. So that's why I felt like this is a very important conversation. So she was saying in that clip, Natanya Robinson was saying she tell everybody. She would speak to everybody. And that's how I feel. I remember I used to try to talk to people and say, this is what I'm going through, this. But a lot of times when people don't know what to say or what to do, they kind of shut you down. They kind of shun you a little bit. Some people even distance themselves from you because not because they don't believe that that's what's going on. A lot of times it's because I can't help you. I don't know what to say. So I can't hear this. And I don't know if people feel like if they don't listen or they don't hear it, it's not there. It doesn't exist. That's not true. It still exists. So we need to talk about it and we need to be frank about it. So that's my whole purpose of this live. So I do want to go over some of the coping mechanisms again that we discussed the last time, just to get us freshened up with this conversation today. And everybody who's coming in, please, as you come in, please hit the like button. Thank you for Courtney and Lala being in the chat so far, and hopefully we'll have more coming in or we'll have more on the replay. So one thing that I do understand is that it takes a lot to be honest and upfront with what you're dealing with. And that's one thing I've always been, is upfront and honest. And even if you don't want to tell people, take some lessons from whatever you hear today. Take it in and, see where you can use it. And it's an old saying, because some people may feel like, well, I don't have PTSD, so this topic is not for me. That's not true. The topic is for you because you may not suffer from PTSD, but you may have a family member suffering from PTSD. You may have a child suffering from PTSD. You may have friends that suffer from PTSD. So the knowledge is powerful, so you can help those people that are around you that you love. So I'm going to go back. I put that link to this article in the description of my last video, and I'll do the same with this video as well. It's from Very Well Mind, 9 Healthy Coping Skills for PTSD. And Courtney, I'm going to drop the link in just a minute. So the first coping skill that we talked about is deep breathing. And so I don't know if you don't remember or if you haven't saw the last video, a lot of people who deal with anxiety and PTSD, they really don't breathe well. And they don't know that they don't breathe well. Because a lot of times when anxiety, we have shallow breathing, we, breathe like that. But we don't realize that we need to take in the deep breaths. And that's why therapy is so important, because they teach you those skills to have to, when you're being triggered, instead of just allowing your body to go into the trigger and allowing the trigger to affect you, they teach you one thing: you have to think and start breathing. That is so important for those who suffer from PTSD. Another coping skill is muscle relaxation, progressive muscle relaxation. And all of these skills have to be taught to you. It's not easy to just say, "Oh, I can do that." And they sound simple, but it's a way of going about it, especially when you have PTSD, where they will really be effective for you. So the next one is mindfulness, and we got into that a little deeper last video. So like I said, I'll put this article in the description. Self-monitoring. Now, a lot of times we, with PTSD, we don't self-monitor. What is self-monitoring? Well, it's basically carefully observing and recording specific thoughts, behaviors, sensations, and emotions. Why is that important? When you learn what triggers you, you're better able to cope. Because, and we talked about this on the last video, Courtney mentioned it and I mentioned it about control. People who deal with PTSD have to have control. And when we don't have control, we feel out of control. That's a problem for us. So being self-monitoring helps us to kind of stay in control to our well-being a lot of times, by understanding if we have a trigger, what triggered us, really thinking about it, not just letting it pass by, but think about what happened, why did I feel that way, and do some self-reflection. Another is social support. This is really important because, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of times people who have mental health issues like PTSD, you have no one to turn to, because people are not able to help in the way they would like to. I don't want to say that they don't care, because I really am of the belief that in this day and time, you know somebody with some type of mental health issues, even if it's not yourself. So I don't want to say people don't care, but I do feel like people are not always equipped with the tools to help. So they don't know how to support. And so in that way, if you have PTSD, a very important thing that you need to do for yourself is to get your support system. Self-soothing. You have to find a way to soothe yourself. You have to find a way to soothe yourself. So whenever you find this self-soothing, and it's for different people. So we're going to get into some of that in a moment. But one thing I found for me is when I'm really in the midst of it, I like to get under my blanket. My getting under a blanket and wrapping myself in a blanket gives me security. I'm still learning what that's about. I really don't know, but I do feel good when I'm wrapped up in a blanket. So when I'm having a rough time, a lot of times if I wrap myself in a blanket, I can start easing those feelings. And so we're gonna touch on that a little bit more because it does give us more insight on self-soothing in this article. Expressive writing is another way of coping. Writing down your feelings and your thoughts, and it goes hand in hand with that the other skill of being able to self-monitor. So the writing is very important for a lot of people that can help you. um, Distractions, healthy distractions, not just distractions, but healthy. Be intentional about distracting yourself from your thoughts. So that's another way. Um, Behavioral activation is another way. And all of these 9 steps, like I said, I will go ahead and put this article into the description so you can read it further. But I'm gonna go ahead and welcome up some people to come up if you like to, and really let's have a discussion about this. What are some of the coping skills that you've learned that has helped, or what are some that you know that other people use that help, or just let's have a conversation about PTSD. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Hold on one second. Okay. And if you like to go ahead and press the link and come up. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk about this very important topic. And I hope that all will enjoy and be encouraged. We don't want this to be a topic of distress or someone affected in a negative way. We want this to be encouraging, enlightening, informational, because at the end of the day, we all need support in so many different ways. And with PTSD, I know for myself personally, it can be difficult on a day to day basis to handle your PTSD and to continue to, just do what you need to do for life, you know, especially when you have if when you have children, when you have a household to run, even in your work life, anything that you have to do on a daily basis. If you have PTSD, it can be very difficult. Hey, Courtney, thank you for coming up. What do you want to add to the conversation?
Hello, thank you for having me. I just think this is a very important topic. I'm glad that you're covering it. This is Men's Mental Health Month. So this is very important, not only for men, but for everybody in general. Um, so I just wanted to come up and say I appreciate you for covering it's very important um, to just know. I love that you're doing the coping mechanisms, how to cope. We know what PTSD is, but the fact that you're giving us ways to cope with PTSD is very vital and very important. So I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate that. And you know what? I forgot it is Health Month too. That's what threw me off, to be honest. When I first saw that it was PTSD Awareness Month, I was thinking about men's mental health. And so I was going to do, content around that. And then I realized it was PTSD. So it kind of took me on down another area of mental health. But let's since you're here, let's talk about some of these coping skills. Maybe we can expound on them a little bit. And when you think about the social support, what does that bring to mind for you? What do you think
So,
about?
so for social support, I think it's very important. I don't know if I'm correct or not, but for me, I'm thinking of um, the people you surround yourself with and the environments that you enter in. So I think when you're dealing with PTSD, it's very vital to determine, the environments that you enter, the people that you're around. Are you around the same people that brought on the stress? Are you around the same people that, are inconsiderate of you? Have you changed your environment? Have you shaped and formed things in a way that it will be that you can move forward and press forward in life. Sometimes doing the same thing does not garner new results. So sometimes you have to switch it up. So I think it's very important to look at your circle, um, check everybody that you're around, make sure that they are a positive influence, a positive force, make sure that the environments that you're entering are positive environments that are conducive to your healing. So I think that's what I think of when I think of your social circles.
Okay, you know what, Courtney, you hit on some stuff right there. I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of times when we think about PTSD, we only think about a devastating traumatic event, right? We don't understand still that trauma comes from many different ways. And sometimes having a toxic family life is trauma, and that trauma carries over to PTSD. And a lot of times we don't understand that. So when you say being careful about being in the circles with people who may have caused it, we got to be aware of that. We got to understand that. And sometimes that means cutting people off. Right now, I hate to bring it up, but I need to bring it up. There is a lot going on YouTube. To me, it's
Woo!
triggering.
Wait, I hate to cut you off because but listen, well, you two give me PTSD.
I'm trying to tell you, it is triggering some of the things that
I
people are
almost wrote
saying.
a post, Didi, that I did not want to continue on because it's
Right.
too toxic. But I think I just need to start unsubscribing because at this point,
It is amazing. And I'm saying, do we really need to do this and bring everybody else into it? When I tell you today, I really was not feeling good today. And I was on the other line with you earlier and I was saying, I really don't feel good. But I could not do this live because we got to continue the positivity to distract from the negativity. It's overwhelming. And the things that they are saying about each other, they don't even understand how it's affecting their audience.
it's
Like,
horrible.
it's triggering. It is so triggering. So when you made that statement, that's exactly where it took me to, about being around the people who cause your PTSD. This can cause a lot of PTSD for people because these content creators are wanting people to pick sides. They want people to get in on the argument. They
Dragging
want
other
people.
people into their mess. It's
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna bring Lala up. Hello, B Wallace. Is that Brenda Wallace? I'm not sure, and I hope I'm not calling you the wrong name, but welcome, welcome. Hey, Lala.
Hey Dee Dee, hope you're well.
I am getting better. I feel a little better, but I had to do this live today, so I'm here.
Well, thank you. This is such an important topic. Not my forte, I'll be honest. That's why I was just listening, but it's
No
such a good,
problem.
important topic that needs to be discussed more within the community. So
Yes.
thank you for that. Hey Courtney.
Hey, Lala.
Hey love, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, I'm all right. Just hanging in there, hanging in there.
So, Lala, what do you feel? We're talking about social support. Chime in on what you think about when we talking about social support that can help people dealing with PTSD.
To me, I will say, like Courtney said, it's about your friends, your family, people that you can turn to, and it's not everybody. And sometimes I believe that, in order not to burden somebody, the best thing to do for me, I would get therapy if I had those kind of issues. I'll speak to my family and say, hey, I'm going through this, but I don't think any of you guys can understand what I'm going through. So I'm going to seek therapy. But you need to have the close environment where you feel that you can discuss it, where you're not judged, where people are not giving you opinions that will trigger you even more, if you know what I mean. And those that can
Yes.
help and guide you. You need guidance when you're going through things like this. You need guidance, and in order to get that, you need to have the right people around you. And not everybody has that, unfortunately.
And that is so true because a lot of people in our community run from therapy. I don't know what they think therapy is or what it will do. And I think because and at this time in 2024, we should be used to therapy now in our community, but there's still a lot of people that are really unaware of the skills that they give you in therapy and how they help you because it's just like anything else. We need doctors for all the rest of our parts of our body. Why can't we get a skilled doctor for our mind to help us to be very what's the word? I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm losing my thought. Trying to, helping us to look forward from because PTSD is post traumatic stress. So we don't need to keep having to focus on the past, but you can't get past it if you have no guidance on how to look to the future. So that's how a lot of people get caught up in these triggers of PTSD. And not to say the triggers won't happen and you'll be cured for them or anything, because sometimes you don't even know you have a trigger to something until it comes up. But when you learn the skills and the coping mechanisms, especially through therapy, they can really teach you for your personal situation. You don't have to worry about, well, this person did this, but it didn't work for me. Okay, that's fine. If you get your own personal therapy session, they guide you through your PTSD or whatever your mental health issue is. So I really appreciate you bringing up therapy because it is very, very important. And a lot of times they have group therapy. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not good with the group therapy. I could be very transparent. I'm going to tell you why. I love to help others. So when I'm in group therapy, when I'm supposed to be getting help, what happens is I start trying to help everybody's situation in the group therapy. And then I leave like, I didn't get anything out of that because I lost the reasoning for me to be in therapy. So I've realized a long time ago, group therapy is not for me. I have to do personal one-on-one so I can deal with my own individual things. But if group therapy works for people, try that because sometimes listening to other people and hearing how they deal with things, it will help, further the growth in your own process. I wanted to pull up this comment by B. Wallace. She said, with my grandson having PTSD, It broke my heart, but he has good family support. But I don't like foolishness. And even for me, I saw his triggers, people yelling, and this comes from the military. Yes. Yes, I can see that. She also said, I protect my peace at any cost. And that's it. That's what we have to do. We got to protect ourselves. That's very important. Is there anything else you all want to share, or because I got another question if not?
No, I don't. But I do believe, like you said, therapy is really important. I remember when my sister said she wanted to go for therapy and stuff, wholeheartedly support that because you need someone to talk to. And I'm like you, I can't do group therapy because you ladies see me. I'll be coming out, be like, okay, well, your problem is this. I've become the therapist. I'm not, I'm not gonna be doing that. I can't. You know me and my opinions.
Look,
I
we are.
can't
I
be
think
doing
we
it.
all are like that, Lala. That's why we kind of mesh because I think we are
Yes.
similar in our personalities. So it's really hard
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, and I'm an empath. Like I empathize with people a lot. Like, when I hear stories that resonate with me, even though I haven't gone through it, sometimes when you hear somebody going through something, it makes you realize like, oh, that could have been me. And you believe, oh, as a someone that has feelings, you feel for them. So I'm that kind of person. So when I hear things, I just want to advise people instead of listening to the advice from a therapist. I will be talking to people one by one. So I agree with you. I wouldn't personally do group therapy, but if it's good for those that need it, I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, that's good. What you think about that, Courtney?
I'm a person that could do, like I told you all before, I've done therapy since I was 15, off and on. So I experienced therapy at an early age. But I think I could do group therapy as well as single solo sessions because I oftentimes I like to listen to other people and pick up things and learn. I think in our healing journey, we could always learn from other people. And I'm very in person. In person, like on YouTube, I talk all the time, but in person, I'm very quiet and very reserved. So, I listen a lot, I observe a lot. So I think both works. I just think that therapy used to be a negative connotation because it used to be like, if you go to therapy, that means something's wrong with you instead of, you're trying to heal and seek help. So I'm just glad that awareness is coming out and more people are seeking therapy to heal.
Yeah, that's important to know because it's really for our own good. And people who have had therapy and had the right therapist, because we do have to mention all therapy is not good therapy, only because I remember I was on somebody's live. Look, I'm always on somebody's live, so I don't even know who said it, but someone said that they felt like they became the therapist to the therapist. That's not helpful if you're going to a therapist for your help and healing, and then you start talking about the therapist problems. That's a problem. So we do want to avoid that, but it happens at times. So finding the right therapist for you is very important as well. Even finding the right group therapy for you is very important. And the therapist that I have right now, one thing that made me stay with her is because she told me three things that really made me say, okay, she's the one for me. She said, we're going to work on what you need to work on. You tell me, you're old enough to tell me what you're battling with. And I was like, that's important because sometimes therapists have an agenda and they don't hear you. So that was important for me to have a therapist who really listened to me. Another thing she said was, if I'm not good enough for you, I'm not the right therapist for you, I will work to help you find a new therapist because it's more important for me that you get your healing than me being your therapist. I thought that was powerful because it showed me how selfless she was and that her goals of being a therapist is, genuine. I needed that because I'm like Courtney, off and on throughout my life. I've been to so many different therapists, and I will drop you in a hot minute if I don't feel I'm getting what I need. So, that was important. And then another thing that was important for me is she introduced a type of therapy that I had never heard of. I was really kind of scared of it, and we haven't started it yet, but it was doing brain work. And I did some research on it, and I'm curious because I've been through so many different therapists. I've tried a lot of different things. So now I want to try something new. So those are the three things that really made me feel like this therapist that I have today is the right one for me. Now, will that change? It may. But right now, I can be honest and say she's good for me right now. Hello, Hill 75. I'm glad you came in. Welcome, welcome. And yes, yes, therapy is very important. And she says she's on the replay gang. So I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. I think we kind of tackled therapy some. And thank y'all for being on the panel with me. I really wanted to have more of a conversation today instead of just me talking. But this thought about self-soothing. Can either one of you tell me, what do you think about when it comes to self-soothing? What comes to mind? And I'm gonna give you some of the things that say in the article after you express what you think.
So, what I like to do, for me with self-soothing, I like to go out in nature. I sit on my back porch a lot to get sun, to let my feet touch the grass. Um, I used to walk around my neighborhood. I haven't done it lately, but I need to. Walking is good to clear your mind, get some fresh air. What else do I like to do? I love baths. I love sitting in the bathroom by myself. Sometimes I'll light a candle. It's just, everyone has different things that relaxes them. It's me time, just having me time, being a mom, a single mom, working all the time. My me time is very important. So, if it's nothing but 20 minutes a day, taking some time for me, that's very important and self soothing for me.
Okay, that's good. What about you, Lala?
Me, I love to read. I love reading. I like to escape reality, and in order to do that, I like to read. Whether it would be like the Quran, I have my Quran lessons, and Quran's like the holy book for us. Or I would read fiction, romance, anything, and just be quiet. Like I need quiet, undisrupted peace for me. So that's my soothing thing.
That's great. And B. Wallace said that she listens to gospel music and just meditate. And so those are powerful too. All of that. And let me say, for me, I mentioned about the blanket that is comforting for me, but also music has always been my go-to. I'm very musical and I love music. I love to sing. I cannot sing very well, so people tell me, but I really don't care because I'll sing anyway. And y'all might catch me one day thinking I'm Whitney. I'm not, but I love it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, back to the conversation. That's just who I am. But
Maybe I'm the
music.
same. I love to sing, but I can't sing. My sisters
Oh
have a
yes.
tone, like both my sisters can sing. One of them can sing like Mariah Carey. I can't sing for
Wow.
nothing,
Me
but I love
either.
to sing. So if I'm cleaning, you see me singing all types of songs.
Let me tell you, that's kind of hot. This is a little inside. I used to sing to my husband when we were dating, and he would laugh so hard. But he loved it. But I cannot sing, and I really thought I was doing something singing to him, thinking I'm serenading him, but it was horrible. And later on, he was like, "You know, you really can't sing, right?" But hey, I don't care. Singing is my joy. So that really is soothing to me. Some good music, and not just any music, music with a purpose, like with the words that hit your soul. So I like all types of music. I used to play tenor saxophone when I was in junior high school. So I like classical music. I like any type of genre of music I can get into. It just makes me feel better. So that's a lot of times what I do. And dancing, you know, dancing is just like exercise. It helps you with that dopamine in your brain. And when you move your body, it really releases a lot for you. So I do like to dance a lot of times, to get it when I'm really feeling bad or whatever. So let me go to this article real quick before I go any further to talk about the things that they say are self-soothing. So one thing it says incorporating the senses to ground you in the present moment. This is important. And I did not understand this for a long time, but I did have a a therapist to tell me one time, you need to learn how to be in the present. And I was like, I am in the present. Don't you see me here? It did not make sense to me. So that's something I'm still working on. I want to be grounded. I want to be in the present moment. So I got to learn how to do that more. Another one, it says self touch, self holding, self massage. A lot of times, um, for many people, they are not touched as a child. And I'm not talking about in the inappropriate touch. We're not talking about that today. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm talking about parents who hug and love on their children. Sometimes, things that they say to their kids, or, you see moms who like massage their children's shoulders or make them feel good. Hey, Soul Star Music Love. I'm sorry, I got to say your whole name. Thank you for coming in. Welcome. So, a lot of times people don't get that as a child. And you know what? I never got that as a child. My mom is not that type of mom. To this day, she doesn't hug us. She's not a huggy type mother. I remember my daughter kissed her not too long ago, and I could tell it made her feel very uncomfortable. So when you grow up that way, oh, Lala's back. Welcome Lala back. So we don't really think about this a lot, but that self-touch, self-holding is very important, especially if you grew up without it. You have to learn how to give it to yourself. It's needed. All children should have it. So, what do you all think about that? I don't want to just keep going on. What do y'all think
I
about
agree
that?
with you. I agree with you. My mum's like that. My mum's an old school Somali woman that didn't hug us and kiss us. Well, kisses, yeah, like on the forehead, but hugs and things like that, hell no. Even now in her old age, she hates me the most because I'm like, yes, I got you now. I'm always giving her morning kisses, hugs, everything. She tries everything to run away from me. But I love it because at this age, I just want to soak up everything about her. So I'm an
Yes.
affectionate person only with family. If other people, if I don't know you, don't ever touch me. I'm weird like that. I don't like others touching me. But when it comes to my friends and family, I'm overly affectionate with them. I hug them and just hold their hand, whatever. But my mom was not like that. My daddy wasn't like that either. But I didn't care. I always used to give them a hug and a kiss, you know. But it's just because where how they grew up, they went around it. So it's
Yes.
not. It's unfortunately it's a cycle. So they're not used to it. But deep down, I know she loves it, even as much as she protests. She definitely loves it, and it's very
Yes.
important to have.
That's important. What do you think about that, Courtney?
I agree with Lala when she said that um, she's very particular about people touching her. Like I've never been essayed or anything, but for some reason I am very funny about people touching me. Like me, and if I go on, like, do not touch me if I did not invite you to touch me. So I always feel weird like that, but I that's just a thing for me. But I had kind of the opposite experience. My dad wasn't like very touchy feely affectionate, but I knew that he loved me. I don't know how his parents were with him, but my mom, although me and my mom have our issues, she was very affectionate with me. Like she used to do affirmations with me. Like when I was a little girl, she would hug me. She kissed me a lot. Um, so my mom was very affectionate, and I'm very affectionate with my children. So like in my personal life, people that I love, like my siblings, my family, my cousins, my children, I'm very affectionate. But with outsiders, I'm very reserved. I don't like unwanted touching.
Yeah, that's important. My husband is very affectionate. So it took me a minute because I was like, ooh, wait a minute. Why are you just walking up? Now, if I have control, there go that control again. If I can control it, it was cool. But if he just walked up and kissed me, I'm like jumping. And it took a while because I wasn't used to it. So this self-soothing thing, I actually learned that through therapy. A lot of times I would just hug myself and I would just, really embrace myself so that I could allow him to be affectionate to me because unfortunately I have experienced the child trauma of SA and different things. So that also came along with the PTSD, that touch. So I thought this was important to note that self-touch, self-soothing is very important for a lot of people. So I advise anyone who don't deal with touching, like like you said, in your family it's wonderful, but I mean even like sometime in the family it's hard to be touched by people. So we have to get used to being loving because it carries on generation after generation. Now my daughter, very affectionate like my husband, so they are always coming and running up kissing on me and everything, and they have helped me to be more loving. And because I always had to keep my guard up, and I'll get into that more, but that's where my PTSD comes from, childhood, a lot of it. So I have my guard up a lot, and I still find times where they may walk up and kiss me or hug me, and I have to be present and say, "It's okay. It's your family. They can do that," and allow them to give me love. So I think this is a very important conversation. Let's get some of these comments. The imposter says, "Hello, growing up, I was shown affection all the time between my mother and father and granny. That's a wonderful thing." B. Wallace says, "That's what I missed about my mom. She hugged us a lot, and the night she passed on, I couldn't stop kissing her." And I'm like that with my children and grandchildren. Yes, it's very important. And I'm sorry to hear about you losing your mom, Miss Wallace. Also, she says, "My dad told us he loved us, but he wasn't a hugger." And you know what? Sometimes even hearing those words, because I didn't hear that much growing up either. So that's important too. Soul Star Music Lover says, B. Wallace, "My mom was not affectionate, but I learned to be affectionate with my kids and my grandkids. I will get my sugar." That's right. That's right. And that's important too, to really understand. And I want to go back to your comment earlier, Soul Star Music Lover. I was trying to type some stuff in the chat. I think I was too slow. But she was saying earlier, my family took a major hit in 2022 and 23. Some family members chose therapy, and I believe it has helped. And that's powerful. And we talked about that a little bit earlier, how therapy is very good for those who are dealing with PTSD and getting the proper therapy for you. So I'm glad that that did help you. Okay, and let's see if it's anything else that I missed. Um, yeah, I think I got all the comments. So thank you all for sharing. This is what I want to have, is a a conversation about this. Now, another thing that's talked about in this article about self-soothing, and it talks about the weighted blanket. I did not know this exists before, like a few years ago. And remember, I said that I feel good when I'm wrapped up in a blanket. So I didn't know that this was a thing. However, when my mother in law passed away, and of course, it was difficult for my daughter, and because we had hospice that came through and helped us, they also give you like counseling and different things a year later, up to a year later. So one of the women came, one of the therapists rather, came in to talk to my daughter about, losing her grandmother, everything, because she did live with us and we took care of her um, till she passed. But one thing they suggested was to get her a weighted blanket. And I was like, a weighted blanket? What is that? I had never heard of it. Now I see them everywhere, but I'd never heard of that. So it's interesting about what it says in this article that that's one of those soothing techniques that people with PTSD can use is lying down with a weighted blanket, and it's something about the feeling of having that weight and that comfort, because all the weighted blankets that I've seen are mostly those fluffy blankets, but they're very heavy. You can get them, they like 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, and even though they're really heavy, it makes a person with PTSD feel secure. So that's very soothing, and like I said, that's one of my go-to things. Another thing we talked about music. Courtney talked about aromatherapy. She said soothing bubble baths, and that's similar to aromatherapy too, because all of that kind of goes together. Now, I wanted to talk about some more because I don't want to keep y'all all night. But another technique it talks about is the healthy distractions. And I think it's important for people who deal with PTSD to understand that sometimes you do have to distract yourself in order to move forward. What do the panel think about healthy distractions before I talk about that anymore?
I agree with that. I'll be honest with you. I think it's good to have healthy distractions. Like that's why reality TV is made to distract you from regular life. So I think that is a good thing because you can't always be in your head. You know what I mean? Like going through the emotions. Sometimes it's really good to shut off the emotions and watch something that can take you away from it. And also, can I just say, touching back to the blanket thing, is it just a
Yes.
blanket or is it also duvet? Like, you know what a duvet is, right? The one you sleep with.
Yes. So it's actually a blanket. They have weights on the inside of the blanket. It's made into it. So like Amazon
Ah,
have them. I've seen them at well, I don't know all the stores you have over there, but Home Goods is one of the stores we have, and they have them there. And I'd never seen them before until it was mentioned to me, and now I'm seeing them in different places. But Macy's, different,
okay.
yeah, department stores, they have them, and
I've
it's an
never heard of
actual
it.
full blanket. I'm sorry,
I
what
never.
did you say?
Sorry, I said I've never heard of it. I know blankets, like regular blankets, throws, but I've
Right.
never heard of a weighted blanket.
Yes, I was
Oh,
really surprised to hear about it. And another reason why they talk about weighted blankets a lot of times, this a little off the subject, children with autism, they suggest you get a weighted blanket because it gives them comfort as well,
okay.
especially when
Thank
they're in,
you.
yes,
My sister's sitting here and she's hearing. She's yeah. Do you not know it's for that people with anxiety and everything use those kind of blankets? I had no idea.
yes, I didn't know it either.
Yeah, wow. I'm discovering new things every day because I'm a duvet girl. Even on holidays, I don't know how to explain it. I can
Uh-huh.
go to a hot country. If you give me a sheet to sleep in, I'll refuse your sheet. I will ask for a duvet. I don't know what it is. I just need to be under something thick and fluffy, like a feather dust duvet kind of thing. I just always been like that my whole childhood. I thought it was just me, but every person that I travel is the same. They all want to be under a thick duvet. Like, I don't know, it's just something comforting and being wrapped around something.
Yes, I feel the same way, and I thought it was just me. Sometimes, I mean, because I'm now a particular age, so we have those hot flashes at times, and I'm like, why am I so hot? Oh, I'm under this blanket, but I can't take the blanket off, so I'm fanning, but I gotta keep on my blanket. So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a
I'm the
blanket girl
same.
or duvet. And duvet it's the same for us, Lala, because the
Oh,
duvet
okay.
you can put a comforter inside the duvet. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
covering.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it
like I
is the
have a
same.
big one. I have a big feather duck one and I love it. Like, even it could
Oh
be hot outside, I don't care. If I'm under a sheet, I just don't feel that warmth, that I don't know, it's just it's weird, but I'm just like that. Sorry to go off topic.
no, 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 you good, you good, because we're learning. We're all learning together. Soul Star Music Lover. Did I say her? Oh no, I read hers. She said some here, same here. DZ Star. Sorry. That is why my alias is Soul Star Music Lover. I could go deep on on some music. Remember the B side? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I appreciate that. That is music to me makes the world go round. I just really believe that. The imposter said that they never heard of that. So I guess that was about the weighted blanket. B. Wallace says, yes, it is wonderful. I was given one after my mom passed. Yes. So it's a powerful thing. And she said, oh, yes. So, yeah, it's a real thing. That weighted blanket, if you have any type of mental health issues, they do suggest you get a weighted blanket. And when you're feeling, the effects of whatever your mental health issue is, wrapping yourself in that weighted blanket, it just feels comforting and it consoles you. Excuse me, it consoles you. So, yeah, that is a real thing. Now I forgot what we was talking about. No, no, the distractions. That was a healthy distraction, Lala. Thank you. What about the distractions? Healthy distractions. What comes to mind when you think about the healthy distractions? And anybody want to jump in?
So for me, healthy distractions, what comes to mind for me is I think Lala answered it. So for me, healthy distractions, I would say you know, instead of focusing on the noise of the world all the time, like Lala said, reality TV is good. Of course, I love YouTube, but I try to watch the spaces I go into on YouTube. I like YouTube as a distraction. I love music as a distraction, books, just to keep my mind turning, to keep my, my everything pumping, everything flowing, and to not always focus on the noise around me. I think that it's good to, um, find other things that are interesting to you that can just be, even if it's just a temporary distraction, a happy place for a minute. Like I said, 20 minutes a day for yourself. If that's all that you can muster, 20 minutes a day for yourself, with something that you like to do for yourself, it's always what I would consider a healthy distraction.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And what you and Lala both said is some of what they're saying in this article. Just to mention a few, talking with a friend or a family member. It even mentions doing housework. And remember, we talked about a little bit earlier. Any kind of movement in your body is gonna set off those endorphins that we need and dopamine. So any type of movement. So housework is great. Exercising, a creative task, watching TV or a movie, reading books, playing games. They even talk about the adult coloring book. Now, a few years ago, I learned about the adult coloring book. I did not know that was a real thing. So I just happened to go to the dollar store one day and I see this adult coloring book, and I've always liked to color, but I didn't think about, you think about coloring book, you think about preschool. So I was kind of like, really? People really have adult coloring books? And then I went to work and I saw this girl. She had one and she was coloring, during her phone calls because we were in the call center. And I asked her, I was like, "Why are you using that coloring book like that?" And she had all these fancy color pencils. I mean, she had the whole little setup. And she said, "You know what? This is what keeps me going while we're working. Because some of the at the time I was working for an insurance company for elderly people insurance, and a lot of times they don't have anyone to talk to, so we're their um comfort, comfort and space to tell whatever. I've had people tell me all kind of stuff over the phone. But anyway, so she said to not take in so much of that in between calls, she would just color and it distracted her from the day. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. So I didn't know that that was a real thing, but it is. Have you all heard about the coloring books or anybody tried using those adult coloring books?
The lady that I used to work with used to do that on her lunch break. She used to put her headset on and just color. And when she put that headset on, it meant like, this is lunch, do not disturb me. And she used to just sit there, eat her lunch and coloring at the same time. And I always wondered, oh wow, what is that? And one day I asked her, she was, yeah, it's just to keep my mind off of things. She was, dealing with, because we work in healthcare, like the quality parts, right? Making sure quality insurance and things like that. So it's a lot to take on. And she was part of the cancer services. I think she was breast cancer. So she was the coordinator. So she goes, in order not to take too much on herself, she used to sit on her lunch breaks and color in and just de-stress and just forget about it. And she really enjoyed it. And she goes, it's the best way she found for her to cope.
Wow, that's something. I just it was a new concept for me. I mean, I know kids are happy when they color. I just never attribute that to adults. It was really something. What do you think about that, Courtney?
Yes, I have heard of adult coloring books. I I couldn't color as a child. I couldn't color as a child. I used to always try to, outline your pictures and then color inside the lines. But I was never good at coloring, so I never picked up that habit, but I have heard of them before.
So you are the one that color outside the box.
I color all outside the lines, even when
It's
I'm
okay
praying.
though. It's like, hey, that's what's good about people. We can do it all. We color in the box, in the outside the box, and I can't remember. See, I'm always gonna get off subject a little bit, but there's something about that. If you look it up, people who color outside the lines, they say something about that. I'm not gonna mess it up, so I'm gonna look it up and let you know. But it is a thing for those people who color outside the lines.
Yes,
Welcome,
you
April.
can put me on that.
Welcome, April, October. Welcome to the chat. And let me see. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I was just gonna go back to the comments a little bit. The imposter said working puzzles. Yes, jigsaw puzzles. That's my thing. Um, April, October said coloring is super relaxing. B. Wallace said, yes, I work with people with dementia for over 30 years and they use those. Yes, they use those a lot. Let me see. She said, hello, they're speaking. Yes, April, October. Soulstar Music Lover says it's like drawing or sketching. And April, October says, I have coloring books and plan to get some Legos for Christmas for myself. Oh, you have to let us know how that goes, April, October, because anything creative, we have a creative household over here. So anything creative I love to do. Hill 75 said, I color outside the lines. Okay, Courtney. So you got somebody that go with you, Hill 75.
That's right
um,
here, 75.
B. Wallace said, me too. I can't color at all. Okay, you got another person. Uh-oh. See, this is why we have to have these conversations because we start finding our people who we connect with. So, Soul Star Music Lover said, is that why babies are swallowed in a blanket to give them the illusion of a tight hug? You know what? I wonder about that. Now, Soul Star Music Lover, I'm a researcher. So now I'm gonna have to do some research on that because I haven't thought about that, but I think that is why. because it makes them feel comforted like they did in the belly. So I wonder if that's the reason. I never even thought about the reason for that, but we know we're supposed to do it. That's all I knew. And B Wallace is answering Soul Star, and she said yes, that's why. So that's a good thought. I just have to tell y'all I'm having fun. Thank y'all for the comments and everybody on the panel. This is my joy. I love to talk. So when I have people to talk to, I'm having so much fun. But if you have to drop off or whatever, and I promise I won't keep you long, but I'm enjoying this. So I'm gonna go as long as y'all ready to go. So
Dee, I just say I'm enjoying it too. I really am. I'm learning so much, and
uh
I'm really enjoying it. So thank you for having this live. And Courtney, I'm the same as you, Han. I cannot color. I
see,
can't within the lines. I can't do any of that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a creative. I am not a put together kind of guy. I can't do blocks. I can't do any of that. My sisters are very creative. Me, I'm the one that stares at you to figure out how to do it, and I won't even attempt it. But I'll watch you.
well, hey, we need support all the way around. We need support. So Lala, you are the support. That's what we need.
Oh, thank you, Didi. You always make me feel special. Thank you.
Lala, let me tell you something. You make us feel special. When you come through, first of all, let me tell you, the fact that you come through and support all of us and you on a whole nother time zone is powerful to me. So anytime I see you coming in and giving your knowledge, I'm excited because I know that it's really you're sacrificing your time. You could be anywhere else. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Dee, don't make me tear up. Thank you so much. I
It's
really
real.
appreciate that. It's such good and it's comforting. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you ladies. And listen, I'm all about supporting Black women, especially when we have
Yes.
stories to tell, especially when we want to help and advise and give our, what we've been through in life to help others coming up. You understand? So I
Yes.
really appreciate that. And also, Courtney, I want to say thank you to you. The other day, I caught the end of your live, and when you said don't check, that really touched me, So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Love, your welcoming, your kindness. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I do really feel appreciated, and I really, really kindly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you both for your support and your kindness towards me.
You are loved, Lala.
Yes.
Always know that.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys both. Seriously, I love it, and I enjoy coming up in your lives, and I enjoy supporting you both. You guys are doing something that I would love to do. That
You
I'm
can.
taking. No, I can't. I've decided I'm not doing it.
No,
It is.
Lala, no. I was waiting on it. I was waiting on it.
No, I
I
can't do
understand though.
it.
I
I can't
understand.
do it only because I feel like others. What I've noticed about things is people only hear what they want to hear. Do you
True.
understand?
That's true.
And what I want to give, I don't, the type of channel that I want to do, I feel like it can get misconstrued. It can go so far left that that's not where I want it to be. And I realized just from YouTube and the way it's set up that people only hear what they want to hear. So I rather just not do it, and I rather just support the ones that I'm doing amazingly, like you guys are, and I'll just be in the background and come up on the lives and things like that. But where I wanted to go, unfortunately, I just don't think it's the time yet. But maybe
Okay.
one day. But thank you so much for your support, ladies.
Well, you know what, Lala, too? One day it may hit you to give your knowledge because you have a lot of knowledge. And we're not going to force you or push you into it, but I do love your knowledge. But also, I understand what you're saying because it took me 2 years after taking the Silvers class to actually get this channel going. I've been having the name of my channel. I had a website set up. I let the website go. I did a lot for my channel. And the reason why it was so hard because of just what you said. So I do understand. And it's you gotta have thick skin. You gotta learn to have thick skin, but also understand who people are. And the one thing I've noticed on YouTube is if you get a following, the person whose channel it is, you have to be careful of what your expectations of your audience is. I don't have an expectation. Whoever you are is who you are. I want you to come in and feel good. That's my only expectation. I want to encourage, I want to uplift. That's my only expectation. I'm a cheerleader by nature. So I'm going to cheer for whoever it is if they're worthy of cheerleading because everybody's not. I'm not cheerleading a mess, but I will cheerlead you if you are very positive and open to positivity. So I get what you're saying, Lala, and I'm just kidding. I don't want you to think that I'm really serious about. I'm just kidding. I do love your knowledge, but I understand why, if you refrain from doing it
Thank you,
and
Dee.
take your time, but long as you come on and let us hear you, we excited because you
Thank you
you
so
have a
much.
lot.
No,
I've
thank
been
you.
around you what 2 years now, so
Yeah,
hey, I'm used
yeah,
to it.
you've been my rider from the beginning, DG.
Yes, yeah.
We used to be on panels taking people on together. So,
It's
so
and
we,
it's changed so much. I wish we
it
get back
has.
to those 2 years ago when
We,
everybody was happy and enjoying it, and we could just go from platform to platform. But unfortunately, we have to be selective now.
yeah.
That's just where we are.
Yeah, but
But
thank you so much, Dee Dee, for your support. I really do appreciate you, and I'm so proud of you for doing this. Like, I admire
oh,
your
thank
strength,
you.
your courage to do this. It takes a lot, and you're doing it, and your channel will grow. The more people come to learn from it, it will grow. And I wish you nothing but success. You got this, Dee Dee. Congrats
Now
to you.
look, Lala. Speaking of which, look who done came in the chat, Miss De Silva herself. Hey, De Silva.
Hey, De
Look,
Silva.
we were just talking about old days. We was almost about to reminisce about the 2 years ago of being on De Silva's lives. And here come Angie. Hey, Angie. Hey, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate you all coming through and just here to inspire. Thank you for coming through. Um, you know, this is oh, I don't even know what to say anymore now. The mentor has entered the chat, so it's kind of hard to, I hope I'm gonna show her what good training she does because she's always doing a good job and encouraging us and helping us to grow as women. So we really appreciate you, De Silva. And Angie knows she always got my heart too because Angie, she a firecracker, and she la la. Angie is a firecracker. We've been missing Angie, huh?
Yes, Angie's the best. She
She
is such a
is.
sweetheart. She's so lovely, and I love Angie. So welcome back, Angie. We love you and we missed you.
Yes, welcome, welcome. Okay, now that I done fanned out, I'm acting like a fan and a groupie, we can get back on topic.
I
But
was over here chewing like crazy. I'm over here eating. But
oh,
hey,
you good, Courtney?
Angie.
Look, this is relaxing. This is a relaxing time. So hey, do what you got to do to relax. I like this. So let's get back on topic just a little bit because we went through most of the coping mechanisms that I wanted to talk about. So let's think about. So I know, Lala, you were saying that you haven't really dealt with PTSD. This is not an issue for you. Can you tell me or tell us all how would you handle someone if you found out that they had PTSD? What, as a friend, because sometimes we need to know, how to handle people with PTSD. So, can you tell us, just some of your thought process of if you had that friend, sister, family member that's going through PTSD, what would be your thought process around it?
Do you ask me, Didi?
Yes, I'm asking you,
Oh,
Lala.
okay. Okay. Well, I told you earlier, my sister, she was having panic attacks, and
Oh, yes,
it
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
PTSD, but I think, yeah, she was having anxiety and panic attacks. And so she would talk to me about it. I used to calm her down, and then I said to her, get the therapy. Found her one that she found herself one that she liked. You know, if she didn't have it, then I confronted the first few months. So I'm always going to listen, But if I can't advise you, I will always tell you to go to therapy, because that is the best thing for you. Because that's not my criteria. It's not something I can cover. But I'm always gonna be there. I will always listen first. And I'm a really good listener, so I'd rather listen and then figure out what we can do from there. And that's what I did for my sister when she was going through her panic attacks and her anxiety attacks.
And you know what? Sometimes that's really what the person needs more than anything. It's just to know that someone hears them. You know, just to let you know just a little bit what sometimes what I go through, it hits me out of nowhere. My last video, I gave an example of a lady that I know. We were all in this room and the door shuts. So at first, we were all like, okay, the door is shut. But the door, for some odd reason, we could not open the door on the inside. But the more people were saying it, she literally started having panic and she started crying. And so a lot of people, at first, they thought she was playing. I wasn't close enough to get to her, but I knew what was happening. And so a lot of people around her were trying to console her, and I'm trying to get to her. But also, I also know that a lot of times when a person is triggered in a way, if you don't know their background or why they are having the panic or the symptoms of PTSD, sometimes touching them will be a no-no. Sometimes, because it depends on what the trauma is from. So, for me, a lot of times that listening, if I can just say it and get it out, and sometimes I know I drive my husband crazy because I'll just keep talking about the same thing over and over and over again. But I have to do that to get it out of my head. Because if I don't get it out of my head, it will continue to consume me. And then I go into all of those adverse effects of PTSD. And I've only got to that point. Oh, hold on, sorry. Sorry, I'm coughing. I'm still a little sick, but so I have to be very careful when I feel triggered to think about what I need, and that listening ear a lot of times is what I need because like I said, my trauma is from childhood, and because of how my childhood was, there was no one listening to me, you know? And I learned early on how to mask what I'm going through. So what I would do is I would play the role like everything is fine, but on the inside I'm devastated. I'm going through it. And then when I would get alone, that's when I would show, how what I was going through. Through therapy and really being honest with myself, I now learn how to use my voice and say, "Hey, I'm not good." And speak about it. So having that listening ear, Lala, is so important. What you said, that is so important. So thank you for sharing that. Courtney, do you have something to add on that as well?
What was the question? I can't hear, so when I'm chewing, I can't hear.
Oh no, you fine. That's cool. Well, you can eat if you want to. I was just asking if you had something to say, but I was just talking about the fact of if you know someone who deals with PTSD, how would you support them? And I know you shared with us the last video that you actually go through it as well. So, is there anything you could say that would be a source of support for someone going through it?
I think to support someone with PTSD is to keep communication open, keep judgment limited. Um, a lot of people judge you based on your triggers when they may not know what your triggers are, or what a trigger can do to you. So I think it's very important to keep communication open, judgment down. In dealing with people in PTSD, I think it's also good to research and learn on the topic so that you're well versed. So when things do come up, or things do go awry, you know how to better handle the situation, better assess the situation. Um, and so that's basically it. I think it's just keep communication open, educate yourself, um, be, try not to be judgmental, and just be a source of support for someone that's going through that type of trauma.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And no, and that knowledge of what PTSD is very important, because even sometimes people who deal with PTSD, they don't realize it if they haven't had the therapy and help. They don't know that that's what they're suffering through. It took me years to even understand that that's what it really is. So for us, that's why these conversations are so important, because now we can identify what people around us are going through. And of course, you can't help everybody. I'm not, you know, I'm a realist. I understand we can provide support where we can, but we can't always help everybody we want to. But for the most part, we can do our part by not being judgmental, as Courtney brought out too. And like Lala was saying too, is being a listener. And the reason why not being judgmental is because to the person who's suffering, it's very real. It's very real at the moment. And a lot of times, depending on what the trauma was and how they go back, and I'm gonna bring back up how most people identify with PTSD. We think about military, we think about our veterans, and a lot of times our veterans, if they've had combat or whatever, they feel like they're back on in war. So when they have those triggers or whatever, they really feel like they're back in war. Well, of course, for those of us who've had other traumas, it doesn't look that way. I've had times where I totally froze up in the moment, could not speak, could not say anything, and I couldn't get out of it. I'm just like a paralyzed statue, cannot speak and can't get out of it. To someone, they may like, "Well, what's wrong with her?" They may shake me or try to do, but in that moment, it's real to me. If I'm having a flashback, it's so real to me and it's happening to me right now. And I have to literally think about where I am, what I'm doing to get myself out of it. So what Courtney mentioned and what as well as Lala mentioned, the judgment and the listening, those are two key components to helping people who have PTSD. If you don't suffer from it, you may not understand none of this conversation. But if you do suffer from it, you know what we're saying, and you know why we're saying it. And if you are honest with the people around you, of course, not everybody, but those ones who you can really trust with your heart and with your mind and your soul, the people you know got your back, be honest. Let them know, if you see me doing this, this is why. Because it is alarming sometimes. And I had to understand that too. I want people to help and support me, but I also have to give them the tools to do so. So when I'm in a good state, sometimes I have these conversations. I had to tell my daughter one time, if I'm asleep, call me by name before you touch me. It's a reason for that. I've had a time where, unfortunately, she touched me and I kicked her. It was not for her, it was a reflex because I have PTSD. I had to apologize, but it's real. It's so real. And because of the trauma that I went through, you cannot just walk up on me and touch me without letting me know. That's just I'm gonna fight. I'm just telling you now. So that for all of us who deal with it or those who don't, we really have to get candid about this conversation and not be afraid of it. You know, it is scary, but more and more people are dealing with mental illness than not. And most of the people who are dealing with mental illness, they are ashamed of it because the way the people around them treat them because of their mental illness. I mean, it's nothing that you can do about it. If you have a mental illness, you have a mental illness. The only thing you can do is learn to cope and deal with it the appropriate ways. So it's up to us as a human race to help all of those, just like if you helping someone who's sick with any other illness. Mental health is very important for people to understand, because there are a lot of good people, wonderful people who have done wonderful things, but they suffer in silence when it comes to their mental health. So I really want to make sure we put that out there and people are really aware of what's important. Let me get to some of the comments. Y'all are going crazy in the chat and I'm not looking. So let me get back to the comments. It's a lot of people speaking. April October says, I feel like I can't hear that well when I'm chewing either. She talking to you, Courtney. I knew it wasn't just me. Hey, that's I told you we find our people. She also said that's true. I didn't know I was having a panic attack until after it was over. Yes, that's powerful. Angie and Soul Star Music Lover is speaking. She said, "I miss you on Instagram. Always checking on me. On me. Thank you for that." Courtney is speaking to Angie. Zane Good and Zane Good. If I didn't say hello, I saw you a little earlier come in, and I do apologize. Hello and welcome. If I didn't say hello. Um, but she's also speaking. Courtney said, April, October, laugh out loud. I can't hear in my left ear. So when I'm chewing, it's over. I know that's right. I just sometimes block people out just because I love to eat. Okay, so Star Music Lover says to Angie, I couldn't check on you because they kicked me out. Oh, okay. They talking about Instagram. Zane Good said a trigger can flashy thing your brain and your ability to function goes offline. That's facts. That's facts. So Soul Star Music Lover says that's right. Yes, Lala. Um and just going back to Soul Star Music Lover, talking about Instagram. Zane Good said, Basil Van Der Kolk, I hope I didn't mess that up, wrote a famous book called The Body Keeps the Score, where he helped identify and show what happens in PTSD and how to overcome. You know what? I need to look that book up. And it's another book that's out there, and I need to look it up because I wanted to share that as well. There's another book from a lady that talks about, and I'm gonna look on my Kindle while we're talking, so I can actually share it and give the right name to it. But it talks about healing yourself, and this doctor did a extensive study on how a lot of mental health issues are the cause to our physical issues. When I tell you that was so powerful for me to read, yes, it's called Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. That is a great book. And why it's a good book is because, and let me just say this. This is for informational purposes. As I say, the old saying goes, if it don't apply, let it fly. That's what the silver say. And take in the meat and spit out the bones. So take in what you can, but if it's not for you, let it go. But so I don't want to say this is a guarantee help or whatever, because this is all informational and conversational. But heal the body. It says heal the body, the mental cause your physical illness. And when I tell you, I looked up some things in this book and I compared it to some of the things that I've went through physically. It was spot on for me. I'm just gonna be honest. It was spot on for me, and we'll get into that another day because I do want to go over that book too. But I'm gonna, Zane Good, thank you for sharing that book. I'm gonna look it up as well and see and read on that book as well. And she said mental health is extremely important. October said, Zane, I plan to read that book this summer. I've been hearing a lot about it. So we got one reader. And hey, I like to do book reviews, book clubs. So if we want to, discuss some of these books that are encouraging to our mental health, let me know so we can read it together and kind of have discussion on it because I like that. Um, April, October says Zane, I plan. Oh, she said that. I already said that. Soul Star Music Lover said I may create another account and get back. Okay, she's talking about the Instagram account. Um, Zane Good says that it's an amazing read. Make sure you have tissue and a pen because it will pull some things out of you. Uh-oh, Zane Good. You making me want to do that book club on that. Soul Star Music Lover said, the Silva, I fell asleep on y'all last night, woke up and jumped right back in. Let me tell you, not to get off subject, we love PTSD in this topic, but I fell asleep as well, woke up, and I got back, and I was like, they are still on here talking. Love it. We love the Saturday Night Lives. Zane Good said he's the pioneer doctor for PTSD and trauma. Wow. Louise Hay is here on YouTube. I didn't know that, so I have to look up her YouTube channel. Zane Good said, "Let's go. I love to have to do the book club. Hey, we can do that, Zane Good." And then she's laughing. Soul Star Music Lover said, "Yes, Zane Good. I'm with it. Something positive. Yes." So hey, if we all in agreement, that'll be the next book we can review and we can talk about. But let me tell you now, I don't want to be up here talking about it by myself. I want people to jump in and get on this panel and let's have a real discussion. And if you don't want to do it on YouTube, I do have a Patreon. I haven't set it up for payment or nothing like that. So I can still, do a live on there and we can talk about this book because it's a powerful thing to learn about mental health and especially with a group of people that you can feel safe and have the conversation with. So that sounds real good. Um, let's see, we've been on here. Ooh, time flies when you're having fun. When I tell you this was a great live for me, and I hope all of you. Is there any closing remarks that you would like to give Courtney or Lala on this topic? Jump in, either one. Whoever wanted to
I'll just
start.
say, oh, go ahead, Lala.
Go ahead, Courtney. It's okay.
I was just going to say, I think this conversation is very important. So thank you, Dee, for having the conversation, just educating and bringing awareness to PTSD and mental health. So, again, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And you said, what else? It was something else you said at the beginning of the live.
Oh, it's also PTSD Awareness Month.
So I,
So, yeah.
mhm. So I just appreciate you for, using your channel for positivity. It's so much negative energy on YouTube at this time, especially in the sectors that we're usually in. So it's so good and refreshing to be able to come somewhere and, not be in the midst of it. So I appreciate it. And the conversation was great. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and joining me on the panel as well, Courtney. I always like to do the co-hosting with you as well. So thank you so much. And Lala, you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for covering this important topic. Like I said, I don't have background in it. I know some bits and pieces, but I think it's so important to take care of yourself and your mental health and know your triggers. And if you're going through something, speak to someone about it. And if you can't, seek the right relevant help because it is important to take care of yourself, not just physically, but also mentally. So thank you so much for covering this topic. It's so important that more people discover your channel because you're giving so much information and you're educating us. So we really do appreciate that. So thank you for having me.
Thank you as well, Lala. And like I said before, thank you for giving us your time. I know you're on a different time zone. We really appreciate, to me, that's a sacrifice to come on when you don't have to and really give your knowledge and wealth. So we love that. And thank you for coming always. And I like to say, I just want to repeat the 9 healthy coping skills for PTSD before we go. And I will put this article in the description after the video. But the first one is deep breathing, learning how to breathe properly, because most people with PTSD do not know how to do that. Also, progressive muscle relaxation, mindfulness, self monitoring, social support like we're doing tonight. This is social support. So anyone who come on this video will be able to get some real tools and encouragement. And I thank you all for helping me to do that tonight. Another coping mechanism is self-soothing, expressive writing, distraction, healthy distractions to help you get through. Behavioral activation, we didn't really talk about that a lot, but it goes in hand with the healthy distractions. Most of the list is exactly the same. So that is the 9 steps. So before we get out of here, please, everybody, hit the like button. Please, most of us are following each other around on the YouTube panels, but if you're not following Courtney, please do so. Kicking It with Courtney is her channel, and she talks about a lot of celebrity news and gossip. And right now, she's on Kenya's neck on whether she really did it or not. I love it. So I have enjoyed you all. Thank you all in the comments for keeping us going and really helping us to keep the interactive conversation, because I don't want to be up here just talking my stuff. I mean, I can because I talk and I love to talk, but I really love to have conversation more than that, because to me conversation is the new wealth. When you conversate with people and you give out knowledge and ideas, it helps you to grow. And when you're in a group setting of people of different backgrounds, you grow in life, because no one person knows one thing. But when you share and you give it genuinely, it helps all of us to grow into the better person that we want to be. So that's what I want this platform to be. I have to let you know, if you didn't feel love before you came, I hope you feel love now. If you know someone that may be lacking love, try to show them the love that they need in your own special way. There's people in this world that feel invisible. They may be in a room full of people, but they feel like no one sees them. Please let them know that they are seen. And people are crying for help in so many different ways. Listen to people, give them a listening ear. You never know that one moment that they express something painful to you is the one moment that may change their life. So always listen, even if you don't know exactly what to say back, even if you don't know how to help. Sometimes hearing somebody helps them more than you'll ever know. So I end this with that. I'm Dee Dee Star. This is Love Seen Heard. Everyone have a great rest of the Sunday. I hope this is a great introduction to your week. We'll be back on sometime this week. I really don't always plan my lives ahead of time, because I just never know. Sometimes I just get a feeling and I just want to go live. So look out for me this week, and we'll continue to have the conversation. And Zane Good, I hope you're still on here. Please give me that information about the book if you can DM me, and so we can get that going, because I would like to have a book club around that and try to set that up. Also, I forgot about this. I don't want to leave without saying this. July, I'm starting a healthy initiative. No, I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, but we all need to get our bodies in good health. So July 1st, I will be starting a healthy initiative. I have a few more spots left. I've got a nice number of people who have signed up. Please, if you like to be a part of it, please DM me or send me an email. I am Love Seen Heard on Gmail, Instagram, and Twitter. Please do that by the end of this week, Friday, because I have to get everything set up, and we'll have only a few weeks left before we start in July. This will not be a diet. So I don't want people to think, oh Lord, she's gonna put me on the diet. Not no, 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 no. This is a healthy initiative. And so there's a lot of things that's gonna be added to the program. So I hope who all can be a part of it, do it. This is a beta program for me. And if it works out, I'm gonna carry it on further. If you become a part of it this time, you will be grandfathered in. You will not have to pay from this point on. But of course, as I develop the program, hey, we got to get paid for our time on some things. So I do want to develop a program around this. So eventually it will become that. But who all start with me in July, we'll all be working together. So if you, like I said, I'm Love Seen Heard on Gmail, on Instagram, and on Twitter. I would love to hear from you. And even if you just want to talk or just send me a note of whatever you're thinking about some of the content I'm doing, if you have any ideas on content you want to see, let me know. This is that space that I want it to be. I want everybody to be welcoming, and I want to talk about things that concern you as well. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. You all take care and good night.